Welcome to your new build report. After the Messerschmitt 262 HG3, I wanted to build another German aircraft in 48th scale for my new base right away. My choice quickly fell on the TA-183 from Academy. The TA-183, also known as the Huckebein, was a late-war jet fighter project by Focke-Wulf. It never progressed beyond the design and wind tunnel stage, so no complete prototype was ever flown. The planned armament consisted of 4 Mk108 30mm cannons in the nose, similar to the Messerschmitt 262. If you haven't seen the video about my base yet, I built a small airfield on a picture frame, complete with figures, vegetation, vehicles and many other details. As usual, you can find videos about this base as well as the Messerschmitt 262 from Amusing Hobby on my channel. I thought the Academy TA-183 would be a relatively quick project that would also fit nicely on the base. Said and done. To make things a bit more interesting, however, I once again added a few twists, as you will see in a moment. Right at the beginning, I therefore cut off the flaps. My goal was to depict an aircraft that had perhaps just landed and was being received by the ground crews. For this kind of work, a sturdy handle for razor saws is highly recommended. The flaps were then reattached in the deployed position. This wasn't easy at all and required quite a bit of cleanup work. Next up was the fuselage, on which I embossed numerous rivets or bolts using a rivet maker. My sources were not entirely conclusive, but it's likely that the fuselage was planned as a metal structure, while the wings of the TA-183 were made of wood, similar to other aircraft projects toward the end of World War II. In areas the rivet maker couldn't reach, I once again had to emboss the individual rivets one by one. So after this tedious task, I moved on to the cockpit. And I have to say, Academy did a really good job here. Although no decals are provided for the instrument panels, with a steady hand and a fine brush, you can still paint and detail the individual gauges and switches quite well. To simulate the glass cover over the instruments, I brushed on some looks like glass, which gave everything a nice sheen. Photo-etched parts for the seat harnesses are included in the kit. Bending them into the correct shapes is a bit tedious, but the end result looks quite good. The side consoles are also nicely detailed. To add a bit more detail, I cut a small piece from the packaging to use as a reflector sight. A small but great detail. I think the finished cockpit really looks the part. The actual assembly started with the landing gear base. Normally you should be able to see the engine here. There are resin aftermarket parts available for this, but I decided to skip them. The fuselage halves fit together quite well. The kit itself is fairly simple, for example the exhaust consists of just 1 or 2 parts, depending on which option you choose. What I do find unfortunate, however, is that the front engine intake is closed. To add a bit more detail to this area, I drilled out the cannon muzzles. I then used 1mm brass tubes to represent the gun barrels, attaching them with superglue in some fiddly delicate work. In my opinion, this is a relatively simple way to make a model look more detailed. I already did the same thing on the Messerschmitt 262, so once you're done watching this video, feel free to treat yourself to that one as well. I also glued some fishing weights and poster tack into the nose to ensure the model stands on all 3 wheels and doesn't tip backward. In hindsight, it might have been wiser to use a resin part here, which would fit better and offer more detail. Once the assembly was more or less complete, I filled smaller gaps with the black CA superglue from Display. I then used the reciprocating sander again to clean up the seams. Especially around the nose the fit wasn't particularly good, so quite a bit of sanding was required. Due to all the sanding, some of the panel lines and rivets were lost, so I had to rescribe them. With the TA-183 I ran into the same issue as with the Messerschmitt 262 from Amusing Hobby. The canopy is a single piece, so the cockpit can only be displayed closed. As with the 262, I carefully cut the clear part with a razor saw. Unfortunately, this time it didn't go perfectly straight, so I had to sand the parts flat afterward. Conveniently, Academy also includes masks for the clear parts and the tires. After priming and before the actual paint job, I applied some pre-shading. As you can see, I shaded some panels more heavily and others more subtly. For the main color, I used chrome from MRP. I wanted to depict an unpainted fuselage, which was very likely intended to be made of metal. I airbrushed the paint in thin layers until the pre-shading was only faintly visible. Later on, I masked off a few individual panels and painted them in a slightly altered shade. After that, I used a fine brush to paint the panel joints with Hataka RLM02. This was meant to represent filler material between the individual panels. A few details still had to be added. For example, I painted the gun muzzles in gunmetal. In parallel, I painted the landing gear. Conveniently, masks for the wheels are included as well. The gear struts were painted in RLM02 and the metal parts were picked out with a marker from AK. Since the wheel wells are barely visible in the end, I didn't do much extra work here. In any case, the struts are very sturdy and the TA-183 stands nicely and straight on its landing gear. The fuselage already looked quite interesting, but Alex from Uschi van der Rosten had sent me these duraluminum alloy coats decals that I wanted to try out here. These replicate manufacturer and material markings found on real aircraft components, adding another layer of technical realism to nature metal finishes. Although the decals are intended for 32nd scale models, I think they also work quite well in 1/48th scale. I cut them down to suitable sizes and applied them to individual panels. How realistic this is I can't say for sure, but I do know that toward the end of the war, individual components were sourced from many different factories. Because of that, I think having different manufacturer markings on various panels is plausible. In any case, I feel the final look is very interesting. The entire fuselage was then treated with a thin, dark brown acrylic wash. I also subtly emphasized the panel lines and rivets I had created with an enamel wash. Most of it was removed again with kitchen paper, leaving only a light accent in the recessed lines. I had something special in mind for the wings as well. I wanted to depict them with a wooden appearance. To do this, I first painted them with Vallejo sand grey. The leading edges and flaps were then painted with ivory. At this stage it looked nothing like realistic wood, but the brownish paint was only meant as a base. Luckily, Alex from Uschi van der Rosten had sent me some of his wood decals as well. I made my first tests on the tailplane. Since I wanted to use different wood patterns, I had to cut the decals precisely into small pieces that would fit the individual panels. This was very time consuming and for my taste, the wood was a bit too light. However, that was easy to fix by brushing a brown wash over the decals as a filter. This darkened them up and made the wood effect much more realistic. Now that I knew the best approach, I moved on to the wings. Once again, I cut the decals into different sizes to simulate individual wood planks. For example, I depicted the flaps with a different wood grain than the large wing surfaces. Working with these wood decals was quite straightforward. Like other decals, they are soaked in water and then transferred from the backing paper onto the model. After removing excess water, they are treated with a setting solution. They are very thin, but I had no problems with them. Still, covering both wings on the top and bottom, as well as the tail, was very labor intensive. I carefully measured and cut each section. In some areas I even layered the decals on top of each other, which further altered the color variation. Finally, the entire surface was unified and darkened again with the brown filter. At that point, all that was left was to attach the wings and tail to the fuselage, and my Academy TA-183 in 48th scale was finished. And this was another very exciting project. I always try to experiment with new techniques, materials or tools, and this model is a good example of that approach. Working with wood decals was definitely a challenge, but I honestly don't know of any better way to depict wood realistically. Thanks again to Alex for these decals. As you can see, the Huckebein also fits nicely on my 48th scale Luftwaffe airbase. I originally built this base while I was still working on the Messerschmitt 262 HG3. Looking back, the idea of using it to display and photograph other aircraft as well turned out to be a pretty good one. As always, you can find videos of all my other projects on my channel. I will also be posting more photos on my other platforms, so feel free to follow me there as well. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook and Scalemates. And that's it for Academy's TA-183. Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon. Bye.